So you want to look at importing some fonts. Let's go ahead and do that. But firstly, this like next 30 seconds is going to be for those who have never imported fonts using the college system. All right. So what we want to do is navigate down to our file explorer like so. And if we just go to this PC, we have all of our servers, etc. So now we want to go onto our user area. That is our dedicated student-specific server, or consider it like a little hard drive that exists on every computer in the college that's just for you. All right. So you want to give that a click, and you want to make a folder called fonts. So to do that, I personally like to right-click and press New and go to Folder. Or you can click up here and just click that, and it creates a new folder for you. Now, you want to call that fonts, like this folder here. All right, Fonts. And you want to double click on it. And at the moment, there would be nothing in there for you. All right, but what we're going to do is we're going to grab the shortcut to register said fonts. All right, now to do that, you want to go to this PC, head down to the media and film server, which is this one here. We want to go to student resources. And as you can see down here, we've got register fonts shortcut. All right, so click on that once, right click and copy, or Control C on your keyboard, whichever you prefer. Navigate back to your user area. Mine's a quick access right up here. And go to your fonts, right click and hit paste. All right, and that will appear in there. And that should be the only thing in there if you're doing this for the first time. Now, I have got a couple of fonts in there already. So I've installed these fonts from Dafont, which I'll get onto in a moment. And as you can see, all of the fonts have this little icon, which is a bit of like A4 paper with a little A in it. All right, that is a font file, or a true type font file, or an open type font file. Both don't make a difference. As long as they've got that little thumbnail, that is a font file. And what we'll do every time we download a font, we will take it from our downloads folder and copy it into this one. And what we do is, say for example, I've just downloaded these Adam fonts. I would double click on it like so. This window would then appear, which looks very codey, and it will just say successfully added fonts. It will always error the shortcut, but it's just added those, and you can press any key. I like to press space, and it just disappears. All right. Now let's talk about Dafont, which is where we get our fonts from. So we're going to click on Google Chrome. I'm going to drag that over here like so. I'm going to make a new tab, and I'm going to search for Dafont, D-A-F-O-N-T. All right, like so. All right. So this is Dafont. Give that a click. And on here, you will see a variety of different fonts. Now, to use Dafont, it is very, very simple. I personally, if I know I'm going to Dafont for a specific reason, I like to go and on a specific category and find out what I want. So say, for example, I am getting a Back to the Future style retro font, and I want it to look quite, 80s vibe. Let's look for that. So I can scroll down, I can find something that I like. Just for purposes, let's grab this neon LED light one. Right, one thing to consider as well, this thing on the right-hand side. Now, I know for you guys doing coursework, completely irrelevant, you can ignore this. But you'll see it's free for personal use. You might find some are demo only, so they might not have the numbers in, etc., etc., because these are made by professionals who want to, get themselves out there, and they've been kind enough to give them out for free. But if you are, using them externally, do have a read of these usage agreements, because some of them do require you to either pay for them or at least credit the user in some way. So do consider that. But if it's for coursework purposes, that's internal. Feel free to use any of them. All right, so we like this one. We're going to click download. All right, and it comes up down here that it's downloading. All right, you can click on the two arrows and show in folder. And what you'll notice here, it's in a folder with a zip on it. All right, so that's a compressed folder. Okay, so if we were to drag that compressed folder into our fonts folder, it would not work. So what we need to do is double click on it so it opens up. We want to grab the file from the compressed folder. Don't move the compressed folder. All right. So right click and copy. Navigate back to our fonts folder and just paste that in. All right. So neon LED light. It's the icon, the thumbnail that we know we want. All right. Anything else? There might be a README file in there, like a text file saying thanks for downloading the font. You might find, like this Adam one, there is a variety of different styles of said font: bold, light, medium, regular. All right. This one's just one, but that's absolutely fine. All right. So we're just going to click register font shortcut. It was on the other screen. As you can see, successfully added neon LED light. All right. So what we can then do is navigate to Photoshop. Now, what we want to do is we can double click on our text layer, and we can go on our drop-down menu. Now, you might think there is enough fonts already from Adobe, and you would be absolutely right. But what I find Adobe does is it kind of limits, and it's quite safe in terms of its fonts. And if you're doing something for a specific reason, sci-fi, horror, 80s is what I'm doing for some strange reason, but just an example. You might want something a bit extra, something a bit more specific. All right. So I can go down here and try and find the font if I want to, but a good example or a good way to find it is just clicking on the top and searching neon, like so. Give that a click. There we are. And there is our font in our project ready to go. All right. Now, it might be beneficial for every time you load up your computer just to click register fonts, because if you load up your Premiere Pro project, your Photoshop document, anything Adobe related, and you haven't re-registered your font and you run a different machine, for example, it might put it in with a placement or a kind of replacement font just until you register it. Click register, come back to your software, and you'll find it would have updated. All right. It is that simple, and that is installing fonts. Just as a little kind of extra 10-second, 15-second thing, if you were to be doing this at home, you wouldn't need to obviously install this register font shortcut. You could quite simply click on it like so. This all appears, and you would just press install, and it would install to the machine. But because we are looked after kindly by the IT department, and it's ran through a server system, this is our workaround to ensure that you can use fonts at college. But if you were to be doing this at home, I would personally make a fonts folder somewhere on your computer so it makes life nice and organized. But you would just have to click on them and just click that install button. All right, very quick and simple if you're doing this from home. If you've got any more questions, please feel free to come and see us in the edit suite or email us at technet@farnborough.ac.uk. But that is fonts. All right, very quick, very simple, and will help take your work to the next level.